Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the show. I'm joined once again, as pretty much always, by David Bray. Got a fidget spinner for Christmas.
It's gonna be great for the audio. Right in the mic. That's great.
Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I won't fidget spin too much. I probably will do a little bit down here, but I'll try to keep it to as a minimum as possible. Excited about today's show. We got Boo Lewallen, Oklahoma State, coming on. Let's bring him on and get to it. Boo, how you doing?
Hey guys, doing good.
You got a fidget spinner?
I actually do.
You do?
I do.
Well, shit.
Not by me, so I can't pull it out and start spinning it. But
Yeah,
I got one.
Now it's gonna feel really weird. I put it down. All right, let's talk some wrestling. Oklahoma State, you've had I think 3 or 4 duels. You said, man, what was this? What was this first semester like? You know, I know COVID was, they shut everything down, and the summer probably sucked.
Yeah.
But when did school kick off? Were you in classes? Could you guys practice in the room? If so, could everybody? Could only 2? I don't know, small groups at a time go? What's it been like?
Yeah, man. So everything ended last year. We went to all online in the last few months of April and May, and I ended up graduating with the University Studies degree in May last year. So this past semester, I kind of just took courses to. We actually have a coaching. You can get a coaching minor at Oklahoma State. So I pretty much secured that. So last semester was a bunch of coaching courses, but they were all online for me. And but some guys went to class. I mean, practices. We really didn't get to start lifting or like going into the room until September. And I remember probably like, I think it was only like 4 or 5 days of the week we got to wrestle, and it was short. We could only go with certain guys. Like if a guy tested positive, you could when he came back, you could go with him, but you had to be careful going with guys like that haven't had it, just in case if they got it, then you're going to be quarantined. And we're still doing stuff like that too, just because of the protocols and how long it takes to actually get back to compete. But yeah, man, it was a weird semester. A lot different than the other years that I've been here. The five other years that I've been here.
I bet. What has it been like to compete again? Right? Did that feel weird? Or was it like riding a bike and you just hop right back on and it's all the same?
No, it was. I mean, it was good. Going back out in the Gallagher for the first week was nice. We wrestled our inter squad orange and black ranking matches, or whatever you want to call it. We wrestled that the first week, and that was 2 weeks ago. So that was good to get back out there. And then, you know, the fans were all spread out. We didn't have any fans on the lower level. They were all just up in the bleachers, but it was good. I mean, everybody's spaced out, so there's not as many people, but it was cool to actually still have some fans there. And then the first dual meet, we wrestled Oregon State and I just drew a blank. Oregon State and who else did we wrestle? Dang, drew a blank. But we wrestled 2 teams. It was good to get back out there though, and just be in the rhythm of things again. You know, actually competing, making weight. That 1 hour weigh-in, getting a feel of what that was about again. You know, you kind of forget how your body feels after the 1 hour weighing in and then going out there and competing. So it's been awesome. You know, it's my last year of college wrestling, and you know, I'm just trying to take it all in every week.
So I was going to get to this in a little bit, but you brought it up. I was going to ask, you could do a 7th year if you wanted, right? But
yeah, technically I could, but for me, I think this is it for me. So for the folk style season. So
did you ever consider, like, when you heard this year's like a free year, did you think?
No, it was, for me, it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. It's going to class whenever you've already graduated, it's pretty tough. Even just this past semester of getting the minor in coaching, you know, it's like it's pretty hard to stay motivated to continue to go to class whenever you've already finished it. So, you know, it's I'm fortunate for the 6 years that I've this extra year that I had for my medical red shirt, and you know, I'm happy with everything that's happened, how it's happened. So
sure, I remember what was it, Seth Gross or somebody? We asked the same question to a while back, and it was last year before they decided whether or not they were gonna give an extra year, to the graduating seniors, and he was like, even if they do, I'm basically echoed the same things you say. He's like, I'm done. I've done my college wrestling. It's hard,
Yeah.
and I got
Oh
through
yeah.
it, and I planned on being done, so I'm just gonna be done. Um, do you have any plans for at post college? You want to keep competing? Do you want to coach? Do you want to get a real job?
I've thought about it a little bit, but I'm just really trying to focus on this season and making sure that I go out on the way that I wanted to go out. Finishing on top in the podium at nationals, and you know that stuff we'll think about in March whenever NCAAs is over. So we'll make those decisions then.
So last year it was COVID. The year before, if I'm not mistaken, you were injured maybe twice in the season. You didn't get the finishes. Is that right?
That's right.
Um, I don't know when you think about this year. What do you like? Chomping at the bit, or like I'm like itching to do this because the last 2 years it got stolen from you.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I've been here for 6 years. This is the sixth year, and I've been in nationals one time. So I'm excited to. I'm hoping that nationals continues, and hopefully everything goes good with COVID, and we have nationals this year. And you know, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure I'm ready for it and go out and seize the moment. So, like you said, I'm definitely chomping at the bits, but I'm just trying to focus 1 week at a time and get everything out of every week that I can.
Sure. And I believe it was your shoulder that was repeatedly coming out. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, my left shoulder it popped out at the South Dakota State duel as our first duel of that season, and then I rehabbed it for I want to say like 2 or 3 months and was just working out on my own, kind of away from the team for that time, and then came back for Iowa State. It was maybe like 2 weeks before Big 12s that year, and just late in the third period, took a kind of a bad shot, got underneath, and my shoulder dislocated again. And that one was a pretty tough one, just because it would pop back into place on its own, or like a little bit after, it would just go right back into place. But that one, for some reason or another, it stayed out of place for a long time. So they walked me off the mat, and I had to go back to the training room, and it was still out of place, and it took them a little bit to get it back in. So that one was that one was whenever I knew, that's it. I need to get that thing fixed. So
Yeah. I guess, yeah. What's the status of the shoulder now? Did you get it fixed? Can it come out, or what are the chances that it could?
I mean, it could come out again. But so like every time it would dislocate, I was chipping away bone, and so I chipped away quite a bit of my bone, and they cut off a piece of my bone. I forget what bone it was, but it's right underneath your collarbone, and they screwed that into the spot where I was missing bone, and so it's like a barrier holding that shoulder into place. So if it was to pop out, it'd be pretty bad, man. It would
Yeah.
go through that bone and a couple
Oh,
screws on the way out. So
no thanks.
it's it's pretty secured, and it feels good. I haven't had any issues with it, and um, I'm not feeling like timid with it or anything like that. So I'm very fortunate that I'm able to recover from those types of injuries.
Cool. Cool.
You know, not only is this a new, a very different kind of a season and a new approach to the season, but for Oklahoma State, very new lineup. And we were talking beforehand about some of the young guys. Mastro's look good, Plots look good, AJ Ferrari's look good. Talk about just the impact that those young guys are having already on the team.
Yeah, man, it's I think they're having a big impact. It's a lot different. Each one of them's a lot different than the type of guys that I came in with. And I think that's the same for every year. You get new group of guys, a whole different generation of kids, and they come in, and these guys are hard workers, man. They do everything like professionals already, and they get their classwork done. I mean, I haven't heard of any issues in the class with them or with practices, weight, nothing. They do everything that they can to make sure that they're ready to compete, and I think really highly of them. And it also just kind of it helps reassure me, like, hey, we need to keep everybody on the same standard whenever they come in. It's not just because they're freshmen. these guys are ready to go. They've been doing the right things their whole life to get to this point, and they're continuing it. So the success that we're seeing from them, and we're going to continue to see success from them, is attributed to the way that they live their lives every day. So
You mentioned like it's a different generation of kids, maybe even that come in, and you know we've seen the generations go through Oklahoma State. Maybe talk to the difference of that and the way, I don't know, TikTok and social media, and it's just, I can't imagine Chris Pendleton or Chris Perry or guys of the earlier generations in Oklahoma State being like, here is my phone, take a video of me doing something, dancing, whatever, right? And I think you said
sure.
Nick Kitchenini actually was one of the first ones that was into that, but
yeah, he was,
TikTok.
him and Dayton, they got onto it, and they were trying to get me to get the app just to see some of the videos. They liked it, and they thought it was funny and stuff. But for me, I actually just never downloaded it, so I'm kind of behind the game on it. But yeah, man, we got a lot of guys, especially like AJ. He's a big dancer. He loves to blare his music and do his own thing, and it's exciting to see it. Like the coaches have to adapt to it in a sense of, this is just the way he goes about his being. So it's interesting to see, but it's also a good thing. AJ's a good kid. He just he's got a lot of energy, and he thinks he's got some dance moves, but I think everybody's seen that on TikTok. But no, it's good. I think like I said, every generation's different, and that's the good thing about Oklahoma State and our coaches. They adapt with each generation that comes in. Ties into the time into the program, and they get the most out of them, and that's why we continue to be one of the best programs to be at in the country. So but it's interesting to see AJ go about things.
Yeah, well, I'm like picturing John Smith, who's I would consider old school, and AJ, who I would consider new school. Like the blend. What's that like? Has he ever been like, "Hey, coach, take a video of me dancing," or
no?
Whatever?
I don't think he's done that. But he'll blare his music. He likes dancing. He lets everybody know he likes dancing, and it's just like how he is. And I think it's awesome to see him just express himself. And whether it's right before the matches, he's having fun before weigh-ins or whatnot. The guy always gets serious when it's time to go, and I think it's a good thing. He just does his own thing, and same with the other guys. They have their things that they like to do, but he's just a little bit more outspoken about everything.
And I believe you said, and I think we got a picture here, Tyler. Tell me about this story with I saw this on social media. I don't know, a week or two ago, right? With this, I thought it was fake too. I thought that was a drawn-in pencil mustache, but that's John W. Right? And what is it, 83 or 85 or?
Yeah, man. AJ came into practice one day and he's like, "Hey, coach, you like my new background?" And he showed him this picture on his phone, and it's funny, man. He's like I said, he's super outspoken, and I think it just brings a good sense of humor for everybody, and he doesn't hold back, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So this year, coming up actually, right? I believe it's this weekend. You guys wrestle in Northern Colorado. Obviously, Alirez won senior nationals. You guys wrestled, was it last year? And you won.
Yep, we wrestled the dual meet last year.
You won handily?
It was actually it was a competitive match, and then I got a turn late in the third period that kind of separated it a little bit, but it's going to be a tough match. He's a skilled wrestler that's got some good stuff, and I'm sure he's got goals for this season as well, and probably coming off his freshman year, he's learned quite a bit. So I'm excited to go out and compete against him. It's the first, I don't know if for him, but it's the first match that I've had with a guy that's looking to be on the podium at the end of the year. So I'm excited to test myself, see where I'm at this point. And I think it's a good thing for our team too. First Big 12 dual meet of the year with them and Air Force. It's a tri-dual meet. So, we'll get to see guys that we're going to see at the Big 12 tournament, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. When that you're approaching a match like that, right? It's happening this weekend. Do you typically prepare for the individual, or are you just preparing for March?
I'm preparing for March. I mean, yeah, we're gonna be wrestling and we've wrestled each other, so I know little things that he did in the match. But you know what? It's I don't know. It's wrestling, so when you get out there, everything kind of goes out the window. You just got to be able to compete and adapt with everything that's happening in the moment. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to get my performance going the way that I want it to go. That's my biggest thing with every match this year. I want to be making sure I'm getting exactly what I want out of each match since we don't have that many, and continuing to grow off of each match, not just kind of sliding by these weeks, not getting everything that I want out of them. So I'm just looking to get the best performance that I can out of myself, and if I do that, I'm sure I'll get that result that I want.
In a typical year, a big dual meet can maybe help simulate like something like NCAA semis or finals, but we always use tournaments to prepare guys for that ultimate, Big 12 tournament and NCAA tournament. We don't have any tournaments this year until the conference championships. How different is that? And do you think that's going to make an impact on the Oklahoma State team or on other teams around the country?
I think it's going to have an impact. Personally, I'd like to say, we're going to do everything that we can, and it's not going to impact us in a negative way. But I think that's how you should think about it. I mean, it's going to impact everybody, so it's not like certain individuals are getting a certain treatment. Everybody's going through the same thing. And like I said, for myself, if we're focusing on our performances each week and building on those performances, I think we can get what we need to get done. And we're in shape. It's not like we're not in shape. We've been training for a long time. The biggest thing is the little tactics within the matches, making sure that in those situations we're still thinking what we need to be thinking and executing when we need to execute. So, the tournament aspect of it, it's a little different, but you know what? Who cares in a sense? Everybody's going through it, and it is what it is. Is if the tournament's going to be going on, you want to be on the top of that podium. So I think we'll be ready.
You guys have done, not just you guys, but everybody around the country, like a lot of tries or, multiple dual meets and then sometimes extra mat on the side, all that kind of stuff. Is that something that you've liked, something that you think we should consider keeping around?
You know what? I actually like it. I like it in the sense of the extra matches, guys, like for myself, whenever I was behind Dean Heil, back when it was my second year here, I really didn't get a lot of matches whenever I'd travel with the team. I would make weight and then Dean would wrestle. So I would never really get to compete. I would just make weight and that was it for me. So yeah, man, it was no fun. But for right now, it's awesome for these guys. We got a bunch of guys that travel with us. We still wear masks and make sure that we're being safe in a sense of not getting COVID. But, they get a bunch of matches, 2 to 3, because the teams that are there bring some extra guys too. So I think it's a good thing in that aspect of it. And I like the idea of wrestling a couple teams at the same time of like a tri-dual meet and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of back when national duels was a big thing and it was going on at Gallagher-Iba. I can remember back whenever I was in high school and going and watching like Chris Perry and Jordan Oliver and Tyler Caldwell and all those guys wrestling. There was like Iowa, Minnesota, the best teams, at national duels. So it was, I like that aspect of wrestling multiple teams. I just wish that we could wrestle like the Big Ten and stuff like that. It's interesting season.
Man. Yeah, it really has been. How long was it? I know, so a lot of teams' schedules didn't come out for a long time. In fact, Stanford, I think they still don't have a schedule that's been finalized. How long was it before the season started that you finally knew like what the season was even going to look like?
Man, for us, it was like, I want to say it was like right before Christmas, or maybe it was Thanksgiving. One of the two. It was late though, like we're just kind of training and, our coaches never really talked about the schedule or anything like that. We're just trying to stay focused week to week of getting the training that we wanted in. And, it was pretty late right before, the second semester whenever we found out what our season was going to look like. And as we've seen with this past week, I think it was North Carolina and maybe Penn State both had to cancel matches due to COVID issues. So, it's pretty crazy. And I think we're going to see more of that throughout this interesting season. But, making sure that we're getting what we want out of training each week. And, if we do compete, making sure we're building on those matches. So that we're ready to go when the time comes in March.
Sure. I've your coach is John Smith, one of the greatest wrestlers, definitely in the United States to ever do it. But he's probably mid-50s or so. When you get older, you wrestle less or not at all. Does he ever get on the mat? I know he'll probably show technique, but does he ever like suit up and spar or drill or no? Or wrestle live?
Yeah. I haven't seen him suited up or anything like that, but I've seen him go a couple takedowns like everybody's seen on Twitter and
I was
stuff,
gonna say we got that queued up. And who is this guy? Because he put up a nice little fight.
So
We can play that whenever you want, Tyler.
Go ahead.
Yeah, explain this to me. Who is this guy?
So Dustin, that's our one of our media guys, and I want to say he wrestled in high school or something like that, and he actually got a pretty good stance. He knows what he's doing out there. But man, look at that. He knows. He still got it.
Still got it.
He really does.
You know?
Keeping that mask on. Too.
I know. It's impressive. Like this dude, he's freaking scrapping for a guy who doesn't train.
Oh, yeah. He's scrambling.
He might be a little bigger in
There it
coach
is.
too, but
Yeah. Look at him.
yeah, that's freaking awesome. I want to wrestle John Smith sometime.
Dude, and
Well,
that
keep
was
that going.
they said it's like the first takedown of the new mat. Man, that's a cool mat. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah, that was sweet. So I walked in so we'll work out like every team does before weigh-ins. You come in and you shed the last couple pounds, get your morning blowout before the weigh-ins, before the match. And I walked in and I was like, dang, I didn't realize that we got a new mat. And so when I walked in, I saw it. And I thought that was pretty sweet. That mat's it's definitely one of the cooler ones that I've been able to wrestle on. So
Yeah, I feel like
I was actually expecting to maybe slide around a little bit because of the stickers on it and stuff. Like I didn't know if it was going to be slick, but no, it's a good mat.
I feel like that other orange mat you guys had was there forever. I don't know. I think I might have wrestled on it. Like
Yeah,
2002.
that thing was there forever.
Yeah,
Been
so
there a long time.
nice to see you have a new mat. So as you look back at your college career and you think about John Smith and Oklahoma State, like what sticks out about him and this program? It can be on the bus, traveling, it can be in the room, it can be in a dual meet, it can be, I don't know, like when you close your eyes and think about your college career.
I think probably I got a bunch of things that I could think about, from my college career, but from Coach Smith, he's kept it the same since when I got there. He tells me what I need to hear. He tells me the truth, and either we build on that or I put it behind me. Whatever it is, he's got my best outlook, and he's always wanting to push me to be the best. And that's the same for all the coaches. Coach Esposito's helped me quite a bit with my technique, and even outside of the wrestling room, there's some amazing people that have mentored me for 6 years now. So I'm super fortunate to be a part of this program. And aside from that, the history of it all, you're getting to wrestle and being coached by some of the best college and world wrestlers that there are. So it's a super special place for me. And the thing I think about the most is just training, going in every day at 3:00 and, we got practice, hearing a speech from Coach Smith or the little things that he has to say before practice, and then, getting after it. And the teammates that I have been exceptional since the beginning. They just keep coming in, and it's the best guys in the country. It never ends. It's like it's a big, just big machine. This machine keeps going. So I'm lucky to be a part of it, and I just hope that I finish it out the way that I want to finish it out, and hopefully that the season continues. With COVID going the way it is, everything's in uncertainty, but I can I can do my part and make sure that I'm getting the most out of it. Yeah. I do think about a lot of injuries, though. That's for sure.
I bet.
A lot of time with my trainer. Me and my our athletic trainer, Chris Hinderleiter. Me and him spent a lot of time together. I think I've spent like probably like 2 years worth of recovery time with him since all of my injuries. So
I mean, you guys are probably common law married.
for real.
And
No,
you said,
but
oh, go ahead.
no, that's it.
You said that Coach Smith always tells you what you need to hear, and he always tells you the truth, and that's kind of rare in a person. A lot of times, people may be more interested in telling you what you want to hear. What has that been like? And is there a time or an example of Coach Smith telling you the thing you needed to hear and the truth, but maybe it wasn't what you wanted to hear at the time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can think back to even last weekend that we just wrestled. We wrestled Little Rock, Arkansas, and SIUE at Little Rock, and it's the message was, you got to have your killer instinct out there, no matter if it's the guy that's not ranked, and you're not wrestling one of the top guys that's going to be challenging you. That killer instinct is going to be what separates you from everybody, and if you don't have it out there on the mat, then you're just an average guy out there. So that's the message that I'm on right now personally from last week. But no, there's a ton of things that I can think about. Just whether it's treating your weight like a professional, or even just on the off season, making sure that you're doing things that always encompass wrestling. That you're always thinking about what you want to get out of wrestling, whether you're in the summertime running by yourself, working out by yourself, or even just, I can think back to even, my first year, when I was injured, I didn't really get coached a lot whenever I was injured. It was kind of just all by myself. And if I wanted to get back, I had to make sure that I was doing things to get back. And I've had a bunch of talks with him about that, of making sure if this is what I want to do, and I got to take an initiative of it. And, they don't have time to help me out. They got the starting lineup that they got to focus on, not that that's a bad thing, it's just the truth in a sense of, you're in a kind of a crappy situation because you got injured, but who's the only person that's going to bring yourself out of it is yourself. So he's helped me a lot. And I think, a lot of the things that I've learned, and I'm sure everybody can say this with wrestling just because of the sport that it is. But when it comes to the real world and getting a job after I'm done competing, I'm going to be able to translate everything that I've learned into that job. And, I'm very fortunate to have somebody like Coach Smith, that tells you the truth, and, you take it for what it is and you keep moving on forward. So it's, he's a unique guy, and I'm lucky to be a part of the program.
Has he ever told you something and like you didn't want to hear it or didn't believe it or accept it until later on? And you're like, dang it, he's right.
Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank in like a specific time, but I can think back to definitely, the losses, like when I first started or whenever I was first starting in the starting lineup. The year that I All-Americaned was my first year starting for OSU, and I wrestled. It was my first year at 149, and I wrestled my first match against Brandon Sorensen. I think I've talked about that match on here before.
At Carver.
Yeah, at Carver, and I could just remember him being like, just, that's not what I wanted out there, and him just telling the truth, and not wanting to hear it in a sense of, oh, it's okay, you wrestled Brandon Sorensen,
he's really good.
We'll get this guy next week or something like that, I mean, he's going to let you know, like, that's not acceptable, and it's not, that's not what you want as yourself, as a competitor. So, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other things. It's just kind of, I'm drawing a blank right now, but
sure,
he's been a great mentor for me.
I bet. I know you said the answer was no, but I just thought, like, if something crazy happened and they canceled, that they won't, knock on wood, they canceled the NCAAs again, or 2 weeks from now they're like, some crazy spike in whatever, right? Who knows? We learned last year anything can happen. would you ever consider next year? You're like, dude, because I hear you talking about looking towards the end and wanting to finish the way you want to finish, and having at least having the opportunity, right? If you go through and you fall short, I get, you're like, I tried, whatever. If you go through, you win, awesome. But if you don't even get the chance to go through, would you consider giving it one more shot in college, or it's like,
I've thought about that, and it's, I think I just continue to go back to the fact that I've got what I've won out of this 6 years at Oklahoma State, and I just personally, I don't have the motivation to go to class anymore, so
me neither.
It's I'm happy with my career of where it's at, and if that was to happen for whatever reason, it'd be okay with me. I'd be fine with where my career ended with Oklahoma State.
All right, fair enough.
So, I'm excited for the duel this weekend. The duel's with Air Force Northern Colorado, and you mentioned there are going to be some good tests for not only you but other guys in the lineup. I think Mastro will probably have Theorius Robeson, who's tough. AJ probably have a ranked opponent in Sealy. If people are looking for a reason to watch you guys wrestle this weekend, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them, come watch so we can put on a show for you guys. You guys have done a great job at FloWrestling putting on the main cards, and like we just saw with Jordan Burroughs and David Taylor, that was awesome to watch. So, I would say to watch this match just so that you could see some good competition, and some points are going to be scored. So, tune in.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're running down just about the end of the line. Still got the fidget spinner, by the way. But I don't know. I wanted to see if you had a final word. You had any parting words, any wisdom, a joke, a tall tale?
No, I
think
I'm good.
Go Pokes.
Yeah, go Pokes, man. I think I'm going to take my dogs to the dog park here in Stillwater. So.
All right. What kind of dogs you got?
I have a Doberman and then a Doberman Mastiff.
Okay. How big are those dogs? Those are medium to big dogs?
Yeah, one's 85 pounds and one's she's young. She's like a year old, but she's like 60.
That's big.
60 pounds.
It's a big dog.
That's going to be a big dog.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So follow him on Instagram, Tally and Copper.
All right. You heard that, folks.
Cool.
Give him a follow. Sweet, man. Well, I appreciate it, Boo. It's always fun catching up with you. Best of luck this weekend out in Northern Colorado, and man, go take care of those dogs.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, thank you, man. Have
Good
a great day.
See y'all.
All right. Lewallen, Oklahoma State, 6th year.
That's the first NCAA athlete we've talked to since this crazy season got started. So good to hear his perspective, really.
Yeah.
Such a weird year, especially somebody who's in a 6th year who's been through this all a bunch of times and now is doing this new thing. I mean, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Always one of the fan favorites, Boo Lewallen. That's going to do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, and we will see you then. Thanks so much.